So it's been a while since I made a top tricks and tips video for any iPhone or really any device. I think the last one I did was about like Snapchat or something, but I'll go ahead and break down some of my personal favorite tips and tricks that I use for any of my iPhones. And honestly, these aren't like, oh, turn this feature on and you do this. These are like things that I typically do that may not be every single video. And honestly, some of these may get this video demonetized, which is going to be really funny. But the very first thing that I always do on almost every single iPhone that I personally use as my main device is actually to install a Game Boy Advance emulator. And I'll go ahead and keep timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip to a certain part, you can go and just skip there. But the specific emulator that I always install is called Eclipse. Now you can see I don't think I have Eclipse installed on this specific device. So what we can do is we want to make our way over to our specific Safari browser or Google Chrome. You actually have to do this on Safari. And all you have to do is search up an app called Eclipse Emulator. You can just search it up on Google. Now you want to click on the first link, the unrevocable multi-emulator. And this is an emulator that you actually can't get revoked. It's just basically a web browser inside. It's basically just saving like a little web page or bookmarking a web page, but it saves it just like it's an app, which is really awesome. And it never gets revoked, which is really cool. So what you can do is you can go ahead and just click here. You can go and click Get. It'll go ahead and give you this little option. You want to go ahead and click Play Online. I guess this little ad will come up. You can go and click the X button right there, and you'll eventually get into an ad flow Y, whatever this thing is called. So it may take a couple of seconds for it to officially go through, and again, just wait one more second. And then after 40 more pop-ups, we get into this specific page, which is exactly where we want to go. So now all we have to do is go ahead and click the share button down here, and we want to click Add to Home Screen, which is right here. So you can go and just save this exactly how it is. You want to go and click Add. Now you will see that it adds the Eclipse emulator onto our device without having to install anything, anything like that, which is really, really awesome. And at this point, all you have to do is go ahead and open it up, and it'll go ahead and take you right here. You can go and click Skip Setup if you don't want to deal with it, the legal stuff, whatever the case is. You can click Agree and Continue, scroll down again, click a Close Setup, and you are here. Now all you have to do is go and click the plus button up here, click Upload, or you can go to a Google Drive or wherever, and just basically find the specific GBA ROM that you have. Now I don't think I have any GBA ROMs on my specific device anymore. I can go and click iCloud Drive or on my iPhone, and I guess I don't have, oh, I guess I do. I have Legends of Zelda, and you can see I can click on it, and it will actually open up that specific ROM, which is really cool. So that's the very first thing. Almost every single time I get a new iPhone or whatever, I always install a Game Boy Advance emulator. Again, use responsibly, only download ROMs that you own and everything like that. I have to say that legally. But that's exactly my very first trick that I would recommend doing, installing a Game Boy Advance emulator. Now the next thing I would recommend, in my next favorite trick, tip, whatever you want to call it, that I always use on all my iPhones, is installing a little app called AltStore. Now what this app does is that it actually allows you to sign and install a bunch of third-party apps that Apple doesn't actually allow you to go ahead and install. Things like an actual Game Boy Advance emulator. Eclipse is also an actual Game Boy Advance emulator, but things like Nintendo DS emulators, PSPP, Snapchat++, and different apps like that. I told you this video is probably going to get me demonetized. But different apps like that, these are honestly some of my favorite things that I always do on every single device. So right now my AltStore is actually, revoked. But on my main iPhone, the iPhone I use every day, it's actually not revoked, which is cool. So this is typically what it looks like. It allows you to go ahead and sign whichever app you have. You just have to download the IPA and pretty much move on from there. So the process to actually install this is very easy, and I made a full video talking about it, but I'll break it down here. You will need a computer in order to actually do this. So definitely keep that in mind. So once you have a computer on you, what you have to do is go to this specific website, which is called altstore.io, I think. It'll again be linked in the description. And all you have to do is from there, download that specific, software for your specific, device. If you have a MacBook, use that. If you have a Linux or Windows, I think it works on there too. But in this case, I'll be using a MacBook. Now, all you have to do is download that and run that and open it. And what will happen is on your taskbar up top, it'll give you a little icon. All you have to do is click on that specific icon and click Install AltStore, which will go ahead and install it on your device. Before you do that, you will have to go ahead and open up the Mail app. You'll have to click on the Preferences, click on Plugins, and then it'll eventually allow you to click on the specific Mail plugin that you'll have to install. Again, this seems a little weird, but again, this is what you have to do. There's kind of like a workaround. And then from there, you go ahead and click on the Install AltStore button again, and it should eventually go through. So now your computer should have AltStore, or at least the Mail plugin, installed. Now what you have to do is plug in your iPhone that you have on you into the bottom port right here and plug it into your computer. Make sure the charging port works and everything. So once it's plugged in, all you want to do then is basically go ahead and click on Install AltStore. and it'll go ahead and allow it to you to install it on your iPhone, and then you're pretty much done. It'll go ahead and just install an app like this. You go ahead and open it up, just like so, and basically you'll be able to log in and you can go ahead and start installing and signing your own apps. And if I rush through this video, kind of I have a couple more tricks I have to go through, so you can always follow my main video that I made, which will be linked down below. And from here, you click the plus button and you go ahead and install whichever IPAs you have. So that's the second trick. I love it so much and I use it all the time. The third trick, which is actually very interesting, which is exactly how to go ahead and send photos, videos, just files all over the place from an iPhone to an Android to a Windows, and honestly vice versa as well. Now typically we have this thing called AirDrop, and AirDrop is something that's really awesome. I love it so much. If you want to send a file from an iPhone to an Android, if you want to send a file from an iPhone to an iPhone, Apple makes it extremely easy for us to basically do that, and it allows us to have so much capability with AirDrop. Now on Androids, we don't really have that capability from sending it from an Android to an iPhone or vice versa. That was until pretty much I think a couple months ago or a year ago or something, and that specific methodology is called Snapdrop. So all you have to do is pretty much go to this website called snapdrop.net. I'll also probably link down below, but if I don't, you can always search for it on Google and pretty much just go to the website snapdrop.net. And all you have to do at this point is basically find your specific Android device, your Windows, your Mac, whatever device you're trying to send data to, and you want to go ahead and go on the same website. So in this case, I have a different device that I'm going to go ahead and go on. And as you can see, it goes ahead and pulls it up here. So all I have to do is click on here. I can click on Photo Library, I can click Browse, and I can send whichever file I want to. So let's say I wanted to send this file over. I would go ahead and click on that file, and it will go ahead and send it over. And you can see on my other device, even though it's an iPhone, it'll still work on Androids and everything. You'll see that it is sending it over, and you can see that it does have that little blue circle around it. That means it's downloading that specific app, and you can even see it here. And eventually when this is done, it's not the fastest thing ever, but it definitely is extremely convenient. If you don't want to keep bringing around USB cables and SD cards and putting them everywhere, you can transfer a lot of different things through the Wi-Fi connection straight from this website, and it doesn't require any for you to sign up. It doesn't anything. It's just right there, and you can utilize it super fast. So this is exactly how you would go ahead and send files, photos, videos, whatever, from an iPhone to a Windows to an Android. Super easy, and it's another super huge trick that I use all the time on my iPhones. Now the next thing is exactly how to go ahead and enable flash LED alerts on any iPhone. Now I do this all the time. Whenever I get a new iPhone, I typically utilize it. I tend to get bored of it really fast, but I do tend to turn it on. Like when I bought these iPhones, including my 12 Pro, I turned it on for about 2 weeks. I liked it, but then eventually it gets kind of annoying. But if you want to turn it on, I'll go ahead and show you how to do it. Now what you want to do is make sure you have your iPhone, make sure it's updated to probably one of the more up-to-date versions of software. And you want to go ahead and open up your settings app. Now once you go ahead and open up, you'll get into a page like this, and you want to go ahead and scroll down until you find the accessibility section right here. So what you get there, you want to go ahead and click on it. You'll come into this little section right here. What you want to do is you want to scroll over so you see audio and visual. So you want to go ahead and click on that. You'll get a couple of different options right here, but at the very bottom, you'll see LED flash for alerts. So all you have to do is go ahead and enable that. You'll get another option called flash on silent. So even if you put your phone on silent mode, like my phone is on right now, it'll still flash the LED on the back. So pretty much we don't have, notifications on these iPhones yet, but we do have this LED flash LED. So imagine just turning on your flashlight. It'll pretty much do the same exact thing here. So that's pretty much the capability of how to do it. It's very easy, doesn't require anything too crazy, and that's really pretty much the process here. Now the next two things, I guess I'll go ahead and chop it up into two different segments because it's kind of different. It's basically how to play PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games on any iPhone out there. Now, I don't really do this too often, mostly because my PlayStation 5 is a good console and I like playing it on the TV, but typically if I have an Xbox or something, I tend to use it more. I feel like the remote play app on the Xboxes are better, but with the PlayStation 4 and 5, it's a really easy process. And if you don't have a PS4 or PS5 or Xboxes, then there's no point in watching the rest of this video, to be completely honest. But what you want to do first for a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, you want to go ahead and go onto your iPhone. You want to go specifically into the App Store. You want to go ahead and click that search button right here, and you want to search for basically PS4 Remote Play. Now, I think they recently changed the name of the app, but you can just type in PS4 and you should find PS Remote Play. So it used to be PS4 Remote Play, but basically they changed it now. So all you have to do at this point is download this specific app. And while it's downloading, you want to make your way over to your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, and you want to find the specific Remote Play options settings. So you want to go into settings, then you want to go and click on Remote Play connections or Remote Play settings. It's a pretty common settings that you can find in your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. And from there, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and enable those settings. Now at this point, once those are enabled, you want to go ahead and go into your PlayStation Remote Play app that you just downloaded. So it's right here. And all you want to do is sign into the same credentials that you have on your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. So the same email, same password, same everything. You want to log into here. Now, once you do that, it'll go ahead and allow you to actually go ahead and click and designate whether you want to use a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. If you want to use a PlayStation 5, then go and click PlayStation 5, a PS4, click PS4. And then at that point, all you really have to do is make sure your PlayStation 5 is connected to power, it's powered on and all that stuff. And it'll go ahead and actually stream whatever is on your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 to your iPhone. And that's a really, really cool thing. And all you have to do at this point is connect a Bluetooth controller to your iPhone if you want to take it with you and everywhere. But the app does allow you to have like an actual controller up on the screen too, which is another really awesome thing. So that's exactly how to go ahead and play PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 games on any iPhone out there. Now the next thing is specifically for Xboxes. Now it's pretty much the same exact setup for the most part. Now what you want to do is make sure you have an Xbox One or Xbox Series S or X, and you also want to make sure it's plugged in and it's connected to Wi-Fi. If it's not connected to either one of those things, then this method is not going to work. So what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and open up the App Store. You want to click the search bar, and you typically just want to type in Xbox. That's usually what I tend to do, and I spelled it wrong. But you want to basically find the specific Xbox app that I just passed. So this is basically the Xbox app, and you pretty much just want to download it. Now it will take a couple seconds for it to officially go through and everything, which is totally fine. And once it's downloaded, all you have to do is go ahead and open it. And once you get into this panel, you want to go ahead and wait a second. You want to go into your Xbox first. You want to go into the Xbox settings. You want to click on, I think it's devices, and you want to allow remote play connections or allow remote connection options. And I'll go ahead and leave this exact tutorial on what I did on the screen right now so you can follow exactly what I did in this specific case and follow those steps. And it will show you exactly how to enable what you need to enable on your Microsoft Xbox, either the Xbox One or Xbox Series X or S. Now, once you do that, all you have to do is make sure, like I said, your Xbox is connected to Wi-Fi and you're around your Xbox for the time being. You want to now make your way over to the Xbox app, which is right here. You want to go ahead and open it, and either you can set up your console like this, or you want to go ahead and sign into your specific Xbox. Now, once you get into this little pop-up, you want to click continue, and you want to sign in, like I said before, with the same exact credentials and the passwords as your Xbox that you're trying to connect to. If you use a different gamer tag, it's probably not going to work. So you want to use the same email, same password, same everything. And eventually what'll happen is you'll get into a little page that'll look like, some like social media thing. It actually looks like a pretty good page. And I actually like the Xbox app more than the PlayStation app, to be honest. But what you have to do now is click at the very top. You'll see basically like a little Xbox that has like Wi-Fi settings emitting from it. You want to go ahead and click on that little option. And then from there, you'll see a little thing at the bottom that says typically your Xbox, if you already set up your Xbox. If you didn't, you want to go ahead and set up your Xbox first. And then from there, all you have to do is click on your Xbox at the very bottom. And what will basically happen is that your Xbox will probably start looking like it's doing something, or your phone typically has this little thing where it says, waiting for a remote play or whatever. And then after that, you're pretty much done. It'll go ahead and connect straight onto your Xbox. From here, you can go and take your phone with you and go wherever you want to. As long as you have an internet connection, you can actually stream your Xbox pretty much anywhere in the world, which is really cool. As long as your Xbox is connected to Wi-Fi and your Xbox is connected to power, then you can actually utilize your Xbox anywhere you go, which is really awesome. So that's pretty much it. I mean, those are some of my favorite features for any iPhone and some of my favorite tricks and tips that you should do on any iPhone out there. Now, that's a lot. I wasn't expecting to take this long. This is like a 20-minute long video before editing. So if you guys have any questions or you have any other tricks or tips that you typically use on any iPhone, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.